Do you feel that restaurants should write calories on all their menus? Do you think that every meal we see in a restaurant should have calories on it just to make people aware?
I think it will be a very good idea to do that. It's done already abroad. I've seen it myself, and it's done generally. For example, in the UK, it's done when a company has, for example, more than 20 restaurants around the country.
Okay, so when it's a chain.
It is a chain, exactly, and obviously the place, the restaurant itself, isn't a healthy food restaurant, so it's just a normal restaurant, you know. But it is astounding to what actually you see. So, like, it would create a lot of awareness. I'm sure most of the restaurants won't do it because
It's bad for business.
it is. But it would be great if it's enforced over some restaurants around in Malta, because people need to know what they're consuming.
Okay, is there, I mean, I'm going to be a little bit of the devil's advocate, but is there a downside to that? So is there a downside that people are so aware it almost creates like an anxiety to eat out, that, you know, you're going to have a pizza and you eat consuming 2,000 calories and it's 80% carbs and fats, you know?
There is that downside. There are a lot of struggles with eating disorders, possibly more than we actually know. People probably don't even know that they have an eating disorder. So yes, sometimes counting every calorie can become addictive, and this creates trouble mentally later on down the line. But still, in my opinion,
There's more positives than negatives.
there's more
something like that.
positives than negatives.
Okay, so calories on menus, that's definitely a help, but it's not happening yet.
It is in some places, but
Not widespread.
not widespread.
How do I, right now, tomorrow, I'm going to go out to eat at a restaurant. How do I go out to eat and not mess up my week of eating healthily? Will it mess up my week of...
Definitely not.
Okay.
I mean, listen, you can. I would have I call it a free meal once a week. It's kind of like the old way of saying a cheat meal. But I would rather not call it a cheat meal, because if on the day I do not feel like eating something junky, for example, just junky, I can opt for something healthy. This is when I'm eating out, right? Because you should not link guilt with food. That's where a lot of people
Make a mistake.
exactly. So, but let's say I want to eat out and I want to stick to eating something good for me. So what I would do, I would have something to eat before I go out to eat. So I'm not going out on an empty stomach. This would prevent me overeating on either the starters or the bread that's on the table before my meal. That's something a lot of people do, in fact. They go really, really hungry to a restaurant and really eat a lot of bread, for example. And then for the actual meal itself, they're already full. So actually what you're ordering, you should eat it all, because it is possibly better for you.
Better for you. And on this point of eating something before, is there something you would recommend that people eat before, in the sense of, is it better to have a salad versus a sandwich versus a...
Yes, I would go, for example, something like either a chicken salad or a tuna salad, something light. So
Right.
we're not talking about a big bowl of salad and chicken. No, just something light.
Okay.
So I would definitely go for
kind
a
of
salad.
replace the bread bit, the oil bit.
Exactly.
And
So
all
you
that.
don't overeat on that. And also, I would definitely recommend to check the menu before you go to the restaurant. So let's say you know where you're going. So you check the menu. So you've made already an informed choice before actually going into the restaurant. Why? What happens usually is this. You arrive at the restaurant, there's the smells, there's the social aspect of it, which is fine, because the person sitting next to you, you randomly ask them, listen, what you're having? And they'll say, oh, I'm having a burger today or a pizza. And you might get influenced. So once you've already made this choice at home in a more controlled setting, exactly, you're more likely to stick to that choice. This is like shopping in a supermarket. If you really go hungry to supermarket, you start buying things that you actually don't need. Whereas if you have a list that you've prepared from home, you just go there and, listen, I need these, and try to stop there.
Well, and also avoiding going hungry to a supermarket. That's a killer.
That's it. Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so some really good advice there. Anything else around restaurants, or is that more or less...
Yes, there's a lot more.
Okay.
For example, let's say you opt for a chicken Caesar salad. Now, we
Okay.
all know there's a dressing there, and we all know that the dressing sometimes is too mayo-based, unfortunately, but that's the reality. And we all know that it's drizzled on top. I would always ask for the dressing on the side. Or you're having chicken and it's got that mushroom sauce or
Sauce
something like
over
that.
it.
I would always opt to have it on the side. Why? Because I can have the sauce, but I am in control of the amount. Whereas if it's poured on top of it, you're kind of...
You're going to eat it all.
Exactly.
Okay. If I do have a cheat day, I usually go for honey. It's also great to add flavor to healthy dishes. Manuka honey is known for its natural antibacterial properties. It's often associated with immune support, amongst other potential benefits. Right now, I'm enjoying premium honey from Manuka Doctor. If you want to learn more about Manuka honey, it's best to visit Holland & Barrett and speak with one of their wellness champions. They're trained professionals who can guide you on nutrition, supplementation, and products like this one. And me, I'm just here for the snack.